it's me, Hannah. If you saw my last video, you may have noticed that it's Renaissance Fair season here in Virginia. It's Ren Faire season, baby. This weekend, I am getting together with a bunch of fair friends to do a group-themed trip to the VARF, and the theme we've decided upon is Sky Pirates. One of my favorite pastimes is mashing two themes into one aesthetic. And by now we know I love a piratey look. So I definitely have some props and accessories from previous Ren Faire visits and other video projects, but I have a few specific ideas on how I can elevate this look. Elevate it into the sky. We'll elevate the look into this sky pirate. You get it. So we say sky, we are leaning more towards like a nighttime sky, starry, space-inspired look. So on top of being inspired by the starry night sky, I definitely want to take into consideration the fact that it will be very warm. It's June now, so it will be very warm at the Ren Faire. So I want to do a shorts look. And I was thinking either like a bloomer look or like a hot pants look. Definitely really comfortable. Either would be really comfortable. But I think I want to do stripes. And because I want to do that, I'm gonna go with the hot pants. My plan for these hot pants is to just take some shorts that I already own and know fit well, and use those to create a pattern for myself that I can then turn into more of a hot pants shape by creating a mock-up, fitting it to myself, and then we'll come back and either add stripes or sew some panels together to get stripes. I'm gonna be using a stretchy material that I was able to thrift from my local thrifty craft store. I got some dark blues, some silvery colors, and some yellows that I think will all go together really nicely. I'm a little nervous about this because I don't have like an awesome track record with making bottoms for myself, but I have the concept down. I have the practice under my belt. I think I can pull this off. So let's make some hot pants. What do we think? I'm very happy with these. I love the shape of them. I'm very happy with the height of the waist. I actually did a good job with the elastic band, so I'm happy with that. I also really like the length of them. I think that they kind of still come across as hot pants without being too long or too short. And yeah, I'm really comfortable in them. I have full range of motion. Cool, now that I'm sweating and out of breath, let me go through a couple hiccups I had. I don't think I did the stretch the right way on these pieces, the like silvery blue and the yellow. Blue though kind of makes up for it. It's a nice stretchy, like always stretch material. I am very pleased with the pattern matching on the front. It's not flawless, but it looks nice. You can kind of see all the colors nice and on display. The back, however, and we're gonna be nice about this, it's a little, you know, kind of accentuates some wide parts that maybe don't always need to be accentuated, and it's fine. That's fine. Don't worry about it. 1, they're comfortable. I like the colors. That's not going to keep me from wearing these shorts. This is a body positive channel. We don't need to dwell on that. And 2, even if we chose to dwell on it, we're going to be hiding my backside with a bustle. So it really doesn't matter. And I think that is what I'm going to call this. And truly, I'm very happy with the shorts. I think they're really comfortable. I think they're really cute. Even though I was nervous about starting them, the fact that I was able to pattern them off of some pre-existing shorts that I owned and kind of adjust them to fit the aesthetic I'm going for. I'm happy with the end product and I'm ready to move on. Now, I had started to put together this, I'm calling it a bustle. Started playing around with how I might want to drape the ruffles and lay the pleats, and I have this trim too that I'm thinking about playing around with. But regardless, I am using leftover fabric from my starfall gown. I found some fabric that I could have sworn was going to be an exact match to this fabric, and it's so close, but it's technically not the same. So this is a little more fabric than what I had in my stash. So what I think I'm gonna do is use this to achieve the ruffled look on the outside, and then maybe use this as the lining of the bustle. I'm very much winging this. So I'm just gonna go ahead and take this off the dress form and essentially start over with the draping and just kind of play around with it and see where we land. Let's go. After I ensured I had enough fabric left over for a rather wide waistband, I got to pleating. I chose pleating as a way to not only add volume to the skirt, but also, of course, shorten the width of it so that it was more of this half skirt butt cape situation. This was also my first time using the fork pleating method, which is maybe a little less precise in terms of like the distance between each pleat, or, you know, ensuring that I have that right. I probably could have added an extra measure there, but otherwise it was relatively easy once I, you know, got the hang of things. Okay, so I've been working on this all evening trying to figure out how I'm going to do this. What I've decided on is I went ahead and stitched the top of these two pieces together, the ruffled side and the lining. And that, of course, leaves me with some unfinished seams. You know, this isn't connected yet. And I think what is making the most sense to me is to go ahead and sew, just kind of hand stitch some of these pinups in place. And then think I can use the burrito method to connect these seams on the outside, since I'm still not positive exactly like what the shape's gonna be until I have the pins in place. And it just, I think this is what makes the most sense. Another option could be to come back and again just use bias tape, but I think that this fabric, you know, this kind of like satiny look, it's just not going to look as good with bias tape. So that is what I am going to attempt to do. Let's see if it works.
The burrito method worked for the side seams. I am so happy that I was able to figure this out. It maybe could have come to me a little bit sooner, but I'm not going to beat myself up about it. We got there. As you can see, the filling of the burrito got a little bulky, but luckily because this fabric is so lightweight and also very kind of slippery and silky, I was able to kind of just shuffle some things around as I sewed and was able to achieve a nice seam on both sides and most of the bottom. That bottom seam is where I left myself about a 4 or 5 inch opening so that I would be able to turn the burrito right side out and have myself a ruffled skirt. Burrito method, 5 stars.
Okay, that is pretty cute. I'm very happy with how this has turned out. While I was at my thrifty craft store, I found this little square of leather. It's like a navy blue, but I thought it would be a nice touch to start bringing in a little bit more of that piratey feel by adding some leather details. So I think what I'm going to do is cut this in half so that I have 2 pieces. So then I can use these pieces to kind of finish this like belt section of my skirt, and including this little hole, add a couple eyelets, and then I'll be able to lace up, and that will be the closure for the skirt. So I think that is what I'm going to do. Let's see if it works. Okay, I've got the base of this done. I am thinking I want to add some more detail work. So now I'm thinking, I have this leftover trim. I thought it might be nice as a detail, just kind of under the belt thing, sort of. I also have these star charms. I was thinking I could add them potentially to the ends of the ties so that they kind of dangled. I was also thinking, because they have a little loop at the top, they might be good to kind of dangle from each of the little tuck-ups there. So I'm just gonna play around with these and we'll see where we land. And here we are. I am very pleased with how this has come out. I love the little star details, just catching the light like that is so cute. The trim I think was a nice touch and kind of a good transition piece there, and the little bit of leather as well as just the gold tie. I feel like we're getting very close. While I do think I could probably get away with just this and like maybe find a pirate hat. What? Do you want to be part of the video? You want to be part of this? So I've made corsets before, and I think the best way for me to do this like efficiently is to go ahead and use the duct tape method to pattern one out myself. So what I'm gonna do is figure out what fabric I wanna use. Here are some of my options. I love that this has stars on it already, but I'm just not sure if it's gonna go. I also have these two, which have a little bit of like a sheen to them. I do really like this material. This feels a little plasticky. Might not make the cut, I think, is where I'm landing on this one. So it's kind of between these two, and I think I have enough that what I could do is make it a reversible corset. That's what I think I'm gonna do. I'm gonna use these two fabrics and make a reversible corset. I have to be mindful of the size of the corset, make sure that I will have enough of this fabric because there's not a lot of it, but luckily you don't need that much fabric to make a corset. Great, let's get wrapped up in some cling wrap. So that did not go as planned. I wrapped myself in too much cling film and it ended up making the bodice very bulky, and I just wasn't happy with the shape of the corset that I had mapped out. So pivot. Instead, I have taken my favorite corset that I own, made by French Meadows. I love the shape of this corset. I love the fit of this corset. I know that it fits me. Pretty easy to do. I'll let past Hannah explain how I did it. Okay, so I wasn't very pleased with how the cling wrap and I guess it was masking tape process had gone. I wasn't happy with like the shape of it. So what I'm going to do instead, and probably should have done it in the first place, is just take a corset like this one from French Meadows that I already know fits, really enjoy the shape of, enjoy wearing, and just duplicate the pattern onto some tracing paper, and then I can turn that into a corset that fits me. What I'm doing is tracing each of these panels using push pins and just going up the seams of each of these panels. And I've put some fabric underneath the tracing paper so that I'm pushing into something soft rather than into my table. And I can actually push the pin to make tiny little holes along the tracing paper. And now, even though I'm sure it's impossible to see on camera, we do have little holes following the outline of that panel. So what I'm gonna do now is get my ruler and a pencil and clean up these lines, trace out the lines. I'm going to add a half-inch seam to the sides of the panels, but not to the top because I don't need a seam allowance up there. But I will add it to the sides of the panel. So there you have it. We have a pattern and we are ready to cut some fabric. I'm gonna start with the dark blue, just plain fabric that I have that's got a little bit of a sheen to it since I have so much more of that fabric. And I'm gonna use that to make a mock-up slash the lining, or just kind of like a working mock-up. And then we'll use the star fabric, which I have a lot less of, to make the rest of the corset. It will be enough to make a corset. I don't want to potentially mess up on the mock-up. So let's get to cutting and sewing and fitting and corseting. just for a bit of context here, we are a one-car household. And, well, I needed some bias tape, and my husband has the car, so I decided to bike to Joann's and get the bias tape that I needed.
Why are you so sweaty?
I was watching Cops.
The things I will do for sewing.
Take them to a flower or something.
also going to use it as like a regular purse that's not a belt bag because that's what Hannah influenced me to do.
That's what I'm here for.
Cell, or Copper Cosmonaut here on YouTube and on Instagram, is sadly leaving us for Japan in a couple of days, and this will be our last Ren Faire with them for a while, so we made them our captain. Go give them a follow if you like amazing storytelling and vlogs about living in Japan.
Oh, Captain, my Captain!
Nothing makes me happier than rounding out a Ren Faire day with these beautiful people, and I had so much fun collaborating with everybody on making these celestial sky pirate looks. And I had so much fun at the Ren Faire, and if you had as much fun as I did, it would mean the world to me if you would like and subscribe. And if you do, I will see you in 2 weeks for my next video. Take care.